Okay, good evening. Okay, first thing first, make sure you're in data structure class. And this. Okay, you're supposed to give me your WhatsApp number, okay? Most importantly is the number and also your tutorial section. Please do this as soon as possible. Only a quarter of you, I think about 100 of you have done this. Okay, so do this as soon as possible because I need to finalize this before end of next week. Now, but if you decide to drop the class, for example, please inform me as well. Okay, so I will exclude your name. But do this as soon as possible. Okay, and then the group is already created. So the other thing is once you are inside the group, make sure you are inside two groups. One is the lecture group, and then the other one is your tutorial group. If you are inside one group only, let's say your lecture group, but not tutorial group, you need to inform me. Clear? Okay, you're supposed to be in two groups. One tutorial and the other one is lecture. If you are put into a wrong group, inform me as well. If you have sent me your number, you have emailed me and you are not in a group, inform me as well. But don't expect to be included immediately into the group. Okay, so normally it will take 1 or 2 days. Okay, module weekly plan. Now remember, there is no tutorial this week. Okay, your tutorial starts next week. Now the other thing is your tutorial is supposed to start after lecture number 2. Some of you have Tuesday class, Tuesday tutorials. So actually it is not really synchronized with the lecture. Okay. So because of that, for those who in tutorial, Tuesday tutorial, one of the week, you will not have any class, okay, in order for me to synchronize with the lecture. So your class, actually, your tutorial will end in week 15, okay? So because you will be like 1 week late. But that one I will inform you later. So next week, you still have tutorial as usual. But most likely, week after next, you may not have any tutorial. Okay? So then you'll be synchronized with the lecture. Now, the other week, those who have Wednesday tutorial next week, okay, there is no class next week because it's a public holiday. Okay? And most likely, you'll be replaced next Tuesday. Most likely, okay? But because it is replacement, you're not really required to attend, okay? Because it's very difficult to find a time where all of you are free, okay? But it will be recorded, and if you want to attend, you can attend, okay? But that one, I will inform next week lecture. Okay, so this is data structure and algorithm class. It's supposed to be year 1, okay, year 1 SEM 2. So it's a bit of introduction, but because we don't have any advanced data structure and algorithm class, so this will cover advanced stuff as well, okay? And this is offered to the basic computer science school program. If you are not in computer science school program, you need to inform me. Okay, I'll be the lecturer for this module. So you can contact me at this email, try to avoid sending to tailor's email because there's so many stuff. Your email might be lost somewhere. Okay, so you can use, you can send me to my Gmail or you can just WhatsApp me. Okay. Now there's another lecturer that will help me for the tutorial, which is Dr. Salia. Okay, Dr. Salia. Okay, so Dr. Salia will help me with the tutorial. Okay, so those in section 1 until section 10, so I'll be your tutor, and those who in section 11 through 15, Dr. Salia will be your tutor. Okay. Now, if you need to see me for whatever reason, okay, you need help with your tutorials or any of the class materials, so these are my consultation hours. Tuesday before lecture and Tuesday after lecture. Now, if you need to see Dr. Salia, these are her hours, 2 to 4, to Tuesday. Or if you're not free during this time, you can also contact us and we can set an appointment. But consultation doesn't need to be face-to-face. Okay, it can also be online. So if you're not free during these hours, you can also, we can try arrange to another hour. It can also be online, not a problem. Okay, you can use Zoom or you can use Teams, because we are using Teams. Most likely we use Teams. Okay. Now, if you want to, you can also do this in a group. For example, if you are a bit shy to ask individually, one-to-one, you can ask your friends. So you can also do this in a group, not a problem. Okay. Now, I've listed here the time and also the place, okay, where the tutorial takes place. Now, this is to enable those who miss the class. If for whatever reason you miss the class, you can. Okay, I will allow you to go to another tutorial. But it cannot be a regular stuff that you do. Okay, this needs to be something that's exceptional. And then the problem with that is if you go to another tutorial which is not your tutorial, one is the place, the space, or basically the capacity. Some tutorial is full. Okay, so if you want to go into that tutorial, you may need to bring your chairs or something. Okay, the other thing is your attendance will not be captured by cams. So you need to see me and then you need to inform me. Okay, but once you do that, I will ask you why you go to this tutorial. So you must have a solid reason. Okay, not just because you wake up late and then you just go to another tutorial. So that will not be accepted. Okay, but you have a good reason. For example, you have to attend Taylor's event, those kind of things. Yeah, I will allow you. Not a problem. Now, the tutorial order is supposed to be Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday is the starting of the tutorial actually. So it's supposed to be Wednesday, Thursday, and Tuesday. So meaning if you're in Wednesday class, you miss your tutorial, you can still go to Tuesday and Thursday tutorial. But if you are in Tuesday tutorial, for example, if you miss your tutorial, you cannot go to Wednesday and Thursday because those will be advanced tutorial. Clear? Okay. So make sure you're aware of the chronological of this tutorial order. Okay. So next week is we still cannot synchronize the tutorial because of the public holiday. But from week 3 or week 4 onwards, I will try to synchronize the tutorial. Meaning Wednesday is the first tutorial, okay? Then Thursday and then Tuesday. Okay, and then you are not really encouraged to change your tutorial hours because most of the tutorials are full, okay? But if there is a need, then you can. But changes of tutorial hours actually between you and your campus central, not really through the lecturer, okay? So you have to deal with the campus central. Now, all the classes, all the lecture will be recorded. And I think for lecture, you can immediately see using Panepto. But I will try to upload to my times as well. Okay. Now, for your tutorial, for next week only, for next week, the tutorial will be recorded based on Tuesday class. Okay, Tuesday class. So you can see the recording. Okay, maybe you miss certain things, so you can see the recording normally Tuesday night, okay, for next week tutorial. But after that, the tutorial will be on Wednesday. The recording will be on Wednesday, because Wednesday is supposed to be the first tutorial class, not Tuesday, okay? But next week, it's public holiday on Wednesday, so we will be done during Tuesday class. So I will choose one of the tutorial class to make the recording. Okay. So the tutorial is the same for all the classes. Okay, so you can go through this. Now, based on the pace of your tutorial class, we may be able to stick to this, or I will go a little bit slower. Okay, it depends. Okay. Now, one important date is your test. You have individual tests 10% before your independent learning week. Remember, there is no class during independent learning week, ILW. But before that, before you go for your break, meaning in week 7, you have your first test. So meaning your test will be conducted at 4th of June. Now the test will be during your lecture, okay? Now this is very important because please don't arrange or don't arrange your vacation during this week, okay? Because test is a test, and test will be treated like an exam, meaning only under very, very extenuating circumstances you are allowed to miss the test, okay? Otherwise, you have to attend the test. Even though I approve your vacation, it doesn't mean that you're excused from attending the test, okay? So make sure you remember the date, okay? 4th of June, your test. Now, there's another individual assessment, but that is at the later part of the semester, okay? So I put in week 9, but it's very unlikely that it will be done in week 9. So, but this one is not much of a problem. Normally, this is a problem one, okay? And this may be an open book test. It's individual, but it's open book. So not much of a problem. Okay, other than that, you have your group assignment. Okay, your group assignment. Now your group assignment is at the second part of the semester. And your grouping can only be done after your class list is finalized. Now your class list is only finalized in week 4 or week 5. Okay, so before that, don't talk about the grouping yet. Okay. Okay, and then don't forget you have your TS that you need to fill in. And please do your TS. You pay so much. So just give the feedback, okay? But the feedback that you give, you should give toward the end of the semester, probably in week 12 or week 13, okay? Not so early, okay? How can you evaluate something so early? Okay, and then for the weekly plan, now if you see this is version 1.2, so that's the current version. If there's any changes, then this number will be updated. So you will just know whether it's the updated one or the obsolete one, okay? Any mistake, you can inform me as soon as possible, okay? You spot any mistake in the weekly plan, please inform me. Okay, make sure if you cannot attend the class for whatever reason, apply through Campus Central. Okay, don't come to me and tell me that I need to miss this class, so can you change the attendance? Now everything is automatically done through Campus Central. Your attendance will also be updated automatically. Okay, if you apply the leave and then I approve, so your attendance will be updated automatically, okay? So you don't need to come and see me. So apply through Campus Central. It can be done later, not a problem. For example, you have an emergency, so it is not something that you plan, okay? But you can apply after that, okay? Not a problem. But it has to be done within 2 weeks, because after 2 weeks, the system cannot change your attendance anymore. Clear? Okay, within 2 weeks. Now, in a case where you have problem with your mobile phone, okay, for example, you cannot key in the code and whatnot, please inform me immediately as well. Okay, you can just message me. Okay, you can just message me that you cannot key in the code and those kind of things. Okay. But please tell me what is the problem, then when, okay, when does it happen? For example, lecture 5, Tuesday, 16 April, okay? And then why you cannot enter the code, clear? Then only I can change accordingly. Now, you need to make sure you meet the minimum, okay, minimum attendance requirement, which is 80%. If you don't meet this requirement, you cannot sit for the final exam. In other words, you have to repeat the module. Okay, simple as that. Okay. Okay, any questions so far before I go to the material, course material? Any question? Any question? Now, if you need to answer your phone for whatever reason, or you need to go to the gents, ladies, to the toilets, you can just go anytime you want. Clear? Even for my tutorial class, you don't need to raise your hand, and you can just go. Quietly go out and then quietly come back. Okay? Okay, your module information. What we're going to study in short. Okay, this is a 4 credit value module. So this is your learning outcome. Basically, when you first start, you will learn the basic fundamental concept of data structure, okay? Data structure and algorithm. And then once you know how to create the basic data structure, then you can use that to create algorithm, to create a more useful data structure so that you can create a proper application for that, okay? So you can develop the program using this data structure. And then you may also need to present this certain data structure. Now remember, your coursework is 70%, and that's a lot, okay? Your final exam is only 30%, so coursework is 70%. Individual component is 10%, but plus there will be 10% individual component inside this 40%. So there's 20% individual components, okay? So this 40 and 20 is, they are group works, but 10% of it will be individual. Okay, so these are the assessment. You have practical tests, so it's a written test, short question, roughly 5 or 6 questions, so you need to answer all. It will be conducted in this lecture hall, okay? Okay, and then you have a group assignment, 2 group assignment. One is most likely a video presentation, okay? A big group, and then the other one is a smaller group, which will be an algorithm analysis, okay? And then out of the 40, you have 10% individual test as well, okay? But most likely it's an open book individual test, which will be conducted inside the lecture hall as well. Okay, and then you have final exam. Okay, a final exam will be usual, about 6 questions, you answer 5 out of 6. So you can choose, okay? Now for your final exam, most likely you can choose between a question that is more theoretical and question that is more practical, okay? Okay, you can go through this thing, but remember the hurdle, okay? Now, hurdle simply means that there are certain things that you need to pass in order for you to pass the module. First is the final piece. Now, your final piece is this assignment. Okay, this assignment is your final piece. Group assignment 40%. It means that you must attempt this. If you don't attempt this, you fail the module. Okay, simple as that. Okay. Now you don't need to pass. You don't need to pass this 40%, but you must attempt. Okay. If you get 0, actually you still attempt. Okay. But if you get nothing, okay, meaning absent, then you fail the module. Okay. It doesn't matter how much you score in other components. Basically, you must participate, okay, in this group assignment. Let's say, for example, you never participate in this group assignment. Your team members complain. You never come for the meeting. You never reply. You contribute nothing. Okay. Automatically, you fail the module. Clear? Because it is a final piece, meaning it is compulsory for you to attempt, even though you fail. Clear? Even though you get less than 20, it's not a problem. But you must attempt. Okay? Now, for all group assignment, at the end of the submission, after you submitted, okay, then you need to write peer review. Okay? So if you are not, it's not compulsory, it's optional. If you're not happy with your team members, for example, then you can write. Okay, you can write whatever you want. Okay, so based on that, okay, then I can assess whether you have participated or you have not participated in this in your group assignment. Okay, that is the final piece, which everyone must attempt. Okay, otherwise, it's considered as failed module. Okay, and then the hurdle. Okay. Now, let's say, for example, you get 70 over 70, perfect mark for your coursework. Where's the hurdle? Okay, 70 over 70, perfect marks for your coursework. But if you fail your final exam, then you fail the module. As simple as that. Okay, that's hurdle. Okay, so remember, to pass the final exam, you need to get minimum of 40%. Okay, 40%. So your final is 30, 40% is 12. So 12 plus 70, that is 82 over 100. It's A. But you fail the module, okay? Because you fail the final exam. If you get less than 12. So you must pass your final exam. Similarly, you must pass your coursework, okay? So you must pass your coursework. You must get 40% at least for your coursework. So coursework is 70, you must get at least 28 over 70 in order to pass the module. That's hurdle. Clear? Regardless of your overall marks. Of course, the overall mark must be more than 50, more than 49, minimum 50. But each component, your coursework and your exam must be at least 40%. Clear? Together 50%, individually must be more than 40%. Okay, and then the content. Basically, in short, okay, this class is structured in a way that you will have to do your programming in the first part of the semester. The second part of the semester, there will be a lot less programming. So in other words, this module is very, very tough in the first part of the semester. Okay? And gradually it becomes easier and easier once we go to the second part of the semester. It is tough because it will involve programming. Okay? After that, it's not much programming anymore. So this is the module where you cannot be complacent. Okay? In other modules, for example, if you can catch up, if you just play around first few weeks and then you can catch up week 4, 5, 6 and so on. Not this module. In this module, if you wake up late, okay, you want to catch up in week 5, week 6, you will be slaughtered. Simple as that. Okay? There's no way you can catch up. This module starts next week. And next week where it begins, and even if you miss week 2, you may have problem, okay, for the rest of the semester. It is that simple. So you cannot miss the class. If you miss the class, you must see the recording. That's why it is recorded, okay? That's why every class is recorded, because you cannot miss any of the class, especially in the first part of the semester. If you miss certain things, then it becomes progressively more difficult. Because you are learning data structure and you are not learning a normal data structure. What you are learning is actually the basic of data structure. The very beginning of data structure is like the DNA of data structure. Okay? The most basic. And from this most basic data structure, you are going to build little bit, bigger. So you can imagine, okay, if you have no idea what's happening at the smallest data structure, you cannot build a bigger one. Okay? Everything becomes very, very complex. Everything will be confusing. So there's no way for you to recover. Okay? So it starts from next week, and that is the beginning. And you have to be there from the very beginning. No exception. Okay? And if in any way you stuck at the very beginning, you must inform me, you must inform the tutors, you must seek help. Okay? Otherwise, once you go into week 3, week 4, you are drowned already. I cannot help, okay? Seek help early. Clear? So you will start with learning a list. A list. And a list is basically the most basic thing inside your computer, okay? Okay. So you will learn how to create a list. And everything that you see, okay, everything that you see, everything inside the computer, everything inside your phone, everything actually boils down to the most basic structure, which is a list. Okay? And the language that we use is one of the most, it's not the most difficult language, but it's the language that everybody will avoid, okay, which is C, okay? But C is very tough language, okay? So as a compromise, I will use C++, okay? Plus means easy, plus means easier. So C++ is C, easy, okay? So it should be easier than C, but it is still a C language. Now, why we use C? Why we don't use Java, those kind of things, okay? Everything that you see, everything that you touch, every computing device that you touch, inside that is a C language, okay? You learn Java, what is Java made of? C. You learn Python, what is Python made of? C, okay? Your Excel, everything. Every single drone or whatever, even your ChatGPT, everything is created using C. It's basically the most basic language inside your computer, okay? We don't learn this anymore because this is not most of our job, okay? Most of our job is to build application. But those applications are created from C, okay? Of course, nowadays, because object-oriented, so it becomes C++. But that's the most basic items inside your computer, okay? Your father, your grandfather, if they are learning computer science, that is what they are learning. They are learning C language, okay? And until today, whatever they learn, the structure that they build is still inside your computer. It's still the one that's powering your application, okay? The list. And how it is built? It is built using pointers and array. So you see array a lot, okay, in every language, but you cannot find pointers. Pointers only exist in certain language. In this case, pointers exist in C and C++. In other language, pointers is taken out. Okay, it is basically invisible to you. It is masked from you. Okay, it is encapsulated from you. Because pointers is not easy to deal with. It is a very, very dangerous stuff. Okay, but we have to have pointers. Okay, so this is what you will learn, pointers. Because pointers is the one that build the basic structure. Everything that you see, all the computing stuff, all the application will not be possible without pointers. Some programmers, they have lived for 30 years, but they never see pointers. Okay, but you are lucky, so you will learn pointers. Okay, and everything that is built, your operating system will not be able to function without pointers. Because pointers is the one that creating the basic building block of data structure. Okay, the one that you're using, your array, your linked list, all the structure that you see, okay, in your Java, for example, even your Python, everything is built using pointers. Okay, somebody must know how to create this structure, and these are using pointers. Now, you will not be able to find pointers in all the higher level language. Okay, they will not allow you to access the pointers. Pointers is special, only available in lower level language like C and C++. because we have no choice. Okay? If you don't use pointers, you cannot build anything. As simple as that. Okay? So once we use pointers to build the basic data structure, then other language can use that. Java can use that. Python can use that. But somebody have to build this basic data structure. And this is what you're going to do. The basic data structure. So from this basic data structure, then you can create a more complex. And from that more complex data structure, then other language can take over and basically create a more complex library. But everything comes from this basic data structure. Okay? Okay, before we go, okay, so in order for you to use this language, okay, there is this tutorial. Now, this is not a C or C++ class, okay? In fact, you are not learning every C++. You're only learning a subset of C++ that deals with pointers and array. Deals with data structure, that's it, okay? Now, there's a tutorial here, Introduction to Basic C++, okay? This is something that you need to do on your own, okay? You need to do on your own. You need to practice on your own, okay? We will not go through this tutorial, okay? When we start, we will go straight to the data structure. So this is something that you can do, okay? Go through the tutorial, try 1, try 2, try 3, and so on. Now, the only thing is, in this tutorial, this is based on Microsoft C, okay, which is have void main. But in your case, you have to change this, okay. This void main you need to change to int main, and then put return 0, okay. Int main return 0. So, for example, here instead of void main, change to int main, then return 0. Clear? Okay, that's the only thing that you need to modify. Okay, so this is something that you need to do on your own before we start next class. Actually, it doesn't need to be everything. You can just do half of it in your second week, and then another half in your third week. Still okay. Okay. And then for the software, you don't really need to install any software. You can use online compiler, online GDB. Now this is an online compiler, okay? So you don't need to install anything. You can just use this. You can see here int main. Make sure you select C++. So int main, and then wait, this is not C++. Okay, C++. Okay, so int main, hello world. Now, if you want to get rid of this std colon, okay, just put if you see the notes here, okay, the tutorial. Okay, so you can use this, okay, using namespace std. So you can take this out, okay. So what I want to see is basically just the code to build a data structure, okay. You don't have to worry about a long coding. And that's also the reason why you use C++, okay, so to cut short a lot of stuff. So your C becomes a bit easier. So this is the code, and then you can just run. So you get the output. That's it, done. You see, very easy. Okay, so you can use this, okay, to practice and to do the tutorial. Clear? So all you need to just internet access. So even if you can use Mac or you can use Windows, it doesn't matter. Okay, you can just use the online. But if you want to install any C, if you want, you can use the Visual Studio Community. It's a big software, okay? It's overkill for our purposes. In our purposes, we only use a one-page program, okay? It doesn't need a huge IDE. But if you want, you can install, this one is Studio 2022 Community Edition, so it's free, okay? So you can just download, but it's a big, I think 8 gigabyte easy. But if you want to use this, there's an option that you need to take, which is the C++ console option. So you need to choose this. Now remember, you can use any C++ compiler, okay? Any C++ compiler will do, because C++ is quite standardized. If you use Mac, for example, Mac already has C++ inside. You just need to activate the compiler. That's it, okay? You can just search GCC code in C++. So Mac already come with C++. Okay, you just need to activate, or you can use Xcode, up to you. Otherwise, you can just use online, not a problem. Okay. The only part where online is not so accurate is when we do the testing for the speed, because speed, if used online, it will be affected by online. Okay, but other than that, you can use online compiler, not a problem. Okay. Okay. Any question? Question? Any question? 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 Any question? Any question? Okay, for this semester, especially for your tutorial class, okay, I don't want to see the ghost anymore. You know, it's the ghost. You are not here, but the cams show you are here. Okay? So make sure for tutorial, for lecture not so much, but for tutorial, okay? No ghosts. Because this semester I'll become a ghost pastor. Okay? Okay, make sure 10 minutes before the class ends, remind your lecturer, okay, if I forget, for your camps, okay. Even for your tutorial class, maybe the tutorial class drag. So 10 minutes before the class ends, remind the tutor, remind the lecturer, remind me, okay, for your camps. Now, your tutorial is structured in a way that it should finish about 15 minutes, okay, before the class ends. Okay, so 15 minutes before the class ends, then we will generate the code. But the reason that it is finished early is for you to ask question. Okay, so if you're a bit shy, for example, to ask during the class, you can ask at the end of the tutorial. Clear? Okay. Or you don't want people to know that you are so smart, for example, so you don't want to ask any smart question. You can also ask at the end of the tutorial. Okay? Clear? Okay, once you've been in attendance, you can leave. But if you have any question, any technical question or anything about your module, for example, you can stay and you can ask me. Okay?